Okay, we are recording. This is exciting. I'm going to get into slideshow mode. Welcome everyone to our Essential Emotions class. There we go. My name is Lorri Lockyer, and this is
Lachael Prouty.
Yes, and we are excited. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. Basically, because our emotions are really so related to our health and our wellness. And the oils make such a huge difference. So the question is,
are you ready to feel good more often?
Yes, all the time. We can feel good all the time. So I love this. So here's some things we're going to go over. We're going to look at the science because both Lachael and I are science geeks. So, behind emotion and essential oils, talking about how to balance and brighten our changing moods, which that happens all the time, and some tools and habits for a healthy body, and also really look at how emotions affect our wellness and how they really are a part of illness. And we'll talk about some different ones. And I want you guys to think of some either recent illnesses or aches and pains maybe that you may be having, and I'd love to be able to look them up in our essential emotion book. I'm dealing with something, so we're going to look up something for me. And how can we walk away today with some thoughts, processes, and oils that can really equip us to be healthier. Okay, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So we are created to function as a whole. We want to, take a look at our mind, body, and spirit, and nourish all of them, and and that creates wellness.
And we can't leave one of them out. Yeah, it's like a stool, So if you take a leg off one, it's not going to be very functional. So our body is made up of very intelligent cells, and I love the way that essential oils can actually get into those cells and really help support them. So when we have an emotion, we're going to get into what part of the brain these information carrying molecules come from later. But when we have an emotion, we create these molecules, and they actually bind to the cell receptors and get into the cell. So there's one of two things that happen. So if it's a good emotion like love and gratitude, very high frequency, you're going to upregulate those cells. But if it's a low frequency emotion, hate, anger, sadness, resentful, any of those, we're actually going to compromise the cell. And over time, we find that that's where we start leading to different diseases.
Yeah, emotions are processed throughout the body, not just one area, not the brain, not the heart.
Yeah, all three. So we have these three brains, and it's interesting because I never really thought of the other two for so long in my life, but I knew that they worked. I just didn't know how to access them. So this is really important to not only know they exist, but how can we access them, and how can we really help have all three brains work together to have that emotional wellness. So we know, of course, our mind, it's special. It's a love-hate relationship. But this is where our subconscious lives in our mind. And again, our subconscious will direct 90% of our behavior. And it also directs our reactions. So this was something interesting I realized, was that when we react to something that someone says, something we read, or something like that, and if we have like all of a sudden we're crying, or we're sad, or we're angry, our subconscious played a little story, and then it caused that emotion. So think of that next time you read something and you find yourself about to cry, or you find yourself hurt. Try to see if you can go back and actually find out what that that story is that probably happened when we were 7. Um, that's been buried in your subconscious, and have a little talk with your inner child, and you can reset that story. And then our heart intuition. Well, this is, again, I love the fact that the science tells us that there are more neural pathways that run from our heart to our brain than from our brain to our heart. So really listening to our heart, speaking from our heart, which can be vulnerable at times, because your heart, you're not having this logical decision of what you're going to say. You just say it. Yeah.
Hopefully you have a filter.
Yeah. It's nice. But it is interesting when you start speaking from your heart, and there's times I go, whoa, I just said that. And or I, asked somebody something that I had no idea I was going to ask them that. And if I would have thought about it, I probably wouldn't have, just in a safe, in that my mind wanting to keep me safe, because your brain definitely wants to keep you safe. And so it will stop a lot of your conversations, whereas your heart really wants to speak from your heart. Do you want to talk about the gut?
Oh, yes. Gut is so important. Have you ever had that feeling in your gut, like that gut feeling, like, okay, I need to do this, or just, you do need to listen to that. But but serotonin is one of those feel-good chemicals, and 90% of our feel-good chemicals are produced in the gut.
Mm-hmm. So Diana and Linda, do you guys find yourself listening to one of these brains more than the other? Or can you give me an idea of, or if you want to share an experience of when you listen to your heart or your gut?
My gut.
Okay, so Linda, that was a gut.
I don't know if I differentiate. It just when it comes into my mind, I respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't always say.
Well, and the other thing that we can use our gut for is we can use our gut for muscle testing. So we can actually put a food, we can put just our hands on our gut, and we can stand up and we can ask our body, body, do you want, this food? And you want to be as specific as, because if you held a bag of nuts, or something, and you ask body, do you want this bag of nuts? And it may say no, and you'll lean back. But if you just say, body, would you like to have 5 nuts? It may lean forward, which is a yes. And so I talk to my body and I ask my body all the time. So that's the other part of our gut brain, is it really knows what your body needs nutritionally. Whereas your mind, it may just go for comfort food because it's got that subconscious, like mac and cheese.
Just gonna say
yeah. So, Diana, what about you?
So I think with me, a lot of times it's, something will happen and my stomach will just start hurting like mad, and that's my gut, I think, talking. But then when I'm stressed, it's like my mind, it goes into headache mode.
Yes. Yeah.
So those two are big on me.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times too, we have to realize that when we are sad or anxious, or if we just don't know, if there's that, I can't figure it out thing. When we're having those thoughts, those little emotion molecules actually go to our stomach and make our stomach hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime you may feel that stomach hurting, it's good to go, what was I just thinking?
Yeah.
And again, that's where the oils really come in, because we can change our perception of whatever our situation is. A lot of times we can't change our situation, but we can change our perception and just the way that we respond to that situation. Oh, okay, so here's our happy girl. When all 3 brains are connected, we have this glowing and smile. So let's look again at what happens when they don't. So when there's a lot going on and we're being pulled from every single direction, and this
Picture.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. For me, I would have, like all of these conversations going on, because at work we have to use MS Teams as our, kind of our Skype, and I'll have 5 people trying to have conversations with me at the same time while all the emails are coming in, and my cat is headbutting my
I want attention now.
I want attention now. And John's trying to talk to me, and thank goodness I just leave my phone in airplane mode until I'm done with work. And I couldn't handle one more thing. But it's, it's hard to process everything. And so this is what our 3 brains could be thinking. I have to figure this out. I feel, so that feel again comes from, our heart. And if we're saying I'm stuck, then we know what happens when our digestive tract gets stuck. It's not happy. So we see kind of the reaction that happens with those thought processes. And Diana, you talked about having, head tension, and again, the conflicted feelings. I was actually having heart palpitations this week. And I knew it was because of just all of the stress, and again, I just kept getting out my emotions and my oils, and trying to keep, the stress down. But when we have those thoughts, then we end up starting to plant this seed or this belief that we're not good enough. And I did this so much as a kid. Mm-hmm. So here's kind of our...
Did you get enough to eat?
Whoop, can someone mute themselves? Thank you. So this is what it ends up looking like, and we end up, having this belief system, and again, our 3 brains are not, very happy. So one of the first steps is to think, what do we want to weed out? And this may be something you're saying to yourself right now. I recently started getting rid of the word need and starting to put in the word want. Mm-hmm. So instead of saying, I need to do this, I need to do that, I started replacing it with want, and it made such a huge difference. It was amazing to just take one word out. The other thing I've been weeding out is when I forget to do something and I tell myself internally, oh, I forgot to do that again. And then I go like, nope, delete. Mm-hmm. I will do that tomorrow, or I will do that at this time. So again, just setting that process in place and planting a seed of want, and not planting the seed and telling your subconscious that you're going to keep forgetting, because your subconscious is really good at listening.
But in order to do this is something that you really have to pay attention to and be conscious about what you're saying to yourself. What is your self-talk, looking like at that moment? So, when you can identify it, you can say, okay, delete and change it. Otherwise, you'll just keep going on, not, if you don't pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything you guys want to share that you want to weed out? You'd have to unmute yourself, and if not, that's okay. Okay, we will go on. So let's look how the essential oils can really help support us. So here's our beautiful diagram. So, and again, when we breathe the essential oils in, the essential oils go to the part of our brain called the amygdala that produces these little chemical peptides that are going to go bond with some cell in our body. And so I always love to stop and really take inventory of my body when I breathe an oil in. So just, breathing it through your nose, closing your eyes, and, holding your breath for however long you can. and just seeing where the oil lands in your body. So the chemicals are made very quickly. They go down the superhighway of our body. Nerves, it's amazing how quickly, and you can all of a sudden feel some part of you relax, and it may be your head, your shoulders, you know, all of a sudden your stomach's just like, ah. I've been clenching my butt lately. I don't know why.
Working those butt muscles.
Some tension there, you know, but all of a sudden my butt's like, ah, thank you. Yeah, so it's super important. Why don't you take this one?
Okay. Well, we know that the oils can support healthy cell function. It can anchor healthy biochemistry, which is really important. And you know, it promotes physical and emotional detox, which we really need to stay on top of.
Yes. So not only the physical, getting rid of toxins out of our body, and we know citrus oils, like this has a picture of wild orange, citrus oils can go into our fat cells and break up toxins, which help shrink fat cells. We love that part and get rid of them. But again, essential oils have a very high frequency, and negative emotions have a very low frequency. So if negative emotions cannot hang out, it's just not physically possible. Love the laws of physics. And so they actually have to leave, and you may feel them. So you may all of a sudden feel an emotion that you had buried a long time ago come up. Just, you know, not acknowledge it. Hi, you came up again. You can leave now.
Done with you,
and let it go. Don't dwell on it. Don't keep it there. No garage sales or anything. So, but they will come up. So just it's okay to just, you know, to know that. I love this picture too. Yeah. So again, we know that the oils are, you know, besides coming from all different kinds of plants and everything, but I love the mint plant, especially because the oil sacs are just right on the surface, and it's one reason why bugs, you know, never eat peppermint plant, because they don't like peppermint. So it's just fun to be able to see that. Oh,
I love this. Did you know that 1 drop of oil, it equals 40 million trillion molecules, and these compounds are available for every cell in our body in a matter of minutes.
It is. It's really quickly.
I did this experiment. I put peppermint on the bottoms of my feet, and I actually timed how long it took to get to my head, and it was I think it was less than a minute.
Yeah,
it was within seconds.
It is amazing how quickly it travels. I'm going to talk a little bit about just why we use doTERRA, and very excited about the fact that they do so much testing on their oils, but also about the essential oil industry as a whole. So this little pie chart here shows the gray is the majority of essential oils out on the market, because everybody's carrying essential oils, and the majority of them are synthetic and have some kind of toxins in them. So it's always good to know where you're getting your oils from, and are they real oils? And then there's food oils. So we actually do an essential oil cooking class, but there are food grade oils that can be put, like cinnamon and peppermint.
Spearmint.
Yeah. And then there's therapeutic. And the big difference with therapeutic oils is that we start to see health benefits. So the actual chemical constituent of the essential oil has shown that we see some really good therapeutic health benefits. And then of course, doTERRA takes it a step further by having certified pure therapeutic grade, and they work directly with their farmers to make sure that they're harvesting at the right time, and that they're getting the plants to the distillery in a very short period of time, and have even built distilleries, so they're close to them, because a lot of that therapeutic benefit is we're going to be lost if the plants sit around for a long time. And then all the oils that come, so every liter from every batch is sent to this stringent third-party testing, and they do around 44 tests, so several of them, looking to make sure that they are pure, that they're not adulterated or contaminated. Because we get our oils from 44 different countries, there's no organic certified in all the countries. So this is why this is our way of making sure that they're tested. And then even after they're tested, they also go back to doTERRA. doTERRA tests them again, and to make sure that they're still at a high quality before they bottle them.
And they are tested at the sites
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So there's three batches of tests that they have to go through.
Yeah, and it depends where it is. So some of the distilleries have a gas chromatography and
Mass
spec, and others don't. So, but they do try and do as much testing as they can right then, because some of the farmers are actually paid a bonus on the chemical constituents that show up in their in the essential oils, which again has to do with when they planted, when they harvested, and how soon they get it to the distillery. So doTERRA rewards them for having good farming practices, and they have people on the ground in all of these countries working with all of the farmers to give them the latest science and the techniques, and also to help support them financially if they're just getting started. So I love that how doTERRA has changed the world and economically by providing so many of these farmers a business to be able to do their own harvesting.
So I just want to make a comparison here. Which would you rather have, a synthetic, like a Glade thing you stick in your wall? They have like essential something now. They have essential oils and essential fragrance, I guess. Or would you rather have a diffuser with our pure oils being uplifting your whole home?
Yes.
I guess that's really
I'd love to add something really quickly before joining you. I was watching some co-impact recordings on doTERRA's site, and specifically the one Somaliland, which is where we get our frankincense from, and also Nepal. So after the earthquake in Nepal, where we've been getting our wintergreen, they did some research and they realized that they could also get spikenard. So they educated and trained the field workers to just harvest the part of the spikenard root and putting some back in the ground so that they don't destroy the whole plant. In other words, it's appropriately harvesting so that you get your product and yet you're not wiping out the spikenard population. Yeah. And it was just really lovely. And I'm guessing those are not the places where you're going to find gas chromatography and mass specs, but what do I know?
That's a good question, because we've seen all the pictures that I've seen of Nepal has been them coming off the hills with wintergreen or spikenard. But I don't actually know how far they have to go to get to the distillery, or if they, just have one of those wood fire, distilleries there. So, but yeah, I do love when we learned about spikenard, how sustainable, how doTERRA, that's one thing that they work with every farmer to make sure it is sustainable. And if some of our oils disappear, it's because it's not sustainable. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have white fur anymore, because how it was being harvested wasn't sustainable. So let's talk about how we use them.
Can I make one comment first real quick?
Sure.
So I've been noticing in the stores a lot, like the Mrs. Meyer's products and was it Bath and Body Works? You know, they all say now, a lot of them with essential oils.
Oh yeah.
So it's interesting how the market's really trying to push essential oils.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, just 8 years ago when I started with doTERRA and I started asking people about essential, nobody knew anything. And of course, no one had ever heard of doTERRA. So yeah, just in a very short period of time, the overall knowledge, and I think it's really helpful too that there's some. It's very big on social media now, and so there's a lot more education and again, you know, doTERRA has over 9 million customers and wellness advocates. So people have realized that there's a very big market out there for essential oils. So again, by breathing it in, taking it air, we're going to unlock that amygdala, which is that part of our brain that makes emotion. So this is the emotion part of the brain, and you know, just breathing it in is the fastest way. You can change your mood in a matter of seconds. And it's sometimes just depending on what's going on in your body, you may need to reset, you know, some hormones and turn off that cortisol. So it may take a couple breaths, and holding it in for, you know, 4 to 8 seconds or so is a great way to just reset all of your hormones. And I do that on a regular basis during the day.
Oh, peppermint. It's so great for helping with mental fog and supporting focus, but it's also on these hot days that we're having, you can put a drop or use the roller and rub it on the back of your neck. It's really great for helping cool you down.
Yeah, and even I put it on my back. Yeah, and it is also a great one that we talked about earlier to get rid of bugs. You know, ants do not like it. Flies do not like peppermint. You can just put a couple drops of peppermint in some water, spray all of your plants, spray your garden, and get rid of bugs. I put extra peppermint in Zelvius's fly spray. There's a little peppermint in it, but I add more.
And he loves it.
Yes, he smells really good. And because he's black and it's hot, it definitely helps cool him off too. So, okay, topically. So again, here's where we're really working on that self-repair, and we want to think about our 3 brains because they need some love. So we can again put it on the back of our neck. A lot of the oils go through the blood-brain barrier. So when you put them on the back of your neck, it's going right up to your brain. I put Intune on the back of my neck every single morning just to give my brain support. And then putting oils over your heart area, inside of your wrist. That fleshy pocket behind the ears. You just have to be careful not to use anything that is sensitive because that could be a little. But sometimes I'll put into past tense behind my ears, and especially if I'm flying and we're landing. Putting something with like peppermint or past tense behind your ears will help your ears pop. That's good. But you know, any of the pulse areas, so the inside of your elbow creases and your wrist are all good. And then there's always our tummy, taking care of our tummy. I love putting oils on my stomach, especially the citrus oils like grapefruit to just shrink those fat cells there. Does a really good job. And then the bottom of our feet is where our bottoms of our feet have really large pores, and so it gets right into your bloodstream and just gets distributed throughout your body. Plus, if you're with someone who doesn't necessarily like the scent of essential oils, or if they're sensitive to scents, then you can still use them on the bottom of your feet and put your shoes on, and you still get to enjoy them, without being a walking diffuser. So.
Yeah, if you have the need to use something like oregano, that's not, something you really want to use as a perfume. But if you put them on the bottoms of your feet, you still get the benefits.
Yeah. With fractionated coconut
Yes.
oil, of course.
Yes.
That one's a hot one. And even spikenard. Spikenard,
That's a unique.
it amplifies everything. So if there's something you want and you add another drop of spikenard, it really helps to amplify it. But to me, it's not the best smelling. Some people like it. To me, it's just doesn't. Yeah, it's not my favorite.
We were at a convention when that oil came out, and there were about 5 of us in our rental car, and somebody opened the spikenard. We're all opening the spikenard.
It was a little tough that year at convention when spikenard came out. There were people that loved it, and other people that just like close it. So, any other feedback about applying topically?
I just want to mention that when the air quality has been like really, in the hundreds to 200s, with the PM 2.5, I've been using peppermint oil, like sometimes even putting it underneath my nose, just to kind of hopefully get a little more oxygen to the brain. I mean, anyway, I don't know that that's how it really works, but it made me feel better and more refreshed. And then thank you for mentioning past tense. For the first time in this last week, I've been using it across the back of my shoulders, or the top of my shoulders and the back of my neck, and it's amazing. I mean, I put it on sometimes before I go to sleep. So thank you for that. And then you mentioned the C word, cortisol. What is it that you use for your olfactory system to help, mitigate that?
So actually any of the calming essential oils.
Okay.
But the main thing is to breathe them in, through your nose, hold your breath, and again, it just will go, right from there to your pituitary and just even down to your adrenals, and that calmness of it stops the cortisol production. So it also helps reset your thyroid, because everything gets thrown off when we're in, stress, and it could be emotional stress or physical stress or just, digestive stress. There's so many things that can just cause that constant cortisol production, which plays havoc and hijacks all the other hormones. So when we're able to turn it off, then we can turn on the hormones that we do want and need, and So it's that, applying it to our body is good, but we always want to breathe it in. So even when I roll past tense or in tune on my neck, I still take my hand and I'll rub my neck and just breathe it in, because I want to get that emotional, I want to get it to my amygdala right away.
And where did you say, did you apply Intune behind your ears? Or no, that was past tense when you're flying.
Yeah, when I'm flying. Yeah, and anything with peppermint is good. So there's times where I've just had peppermint or breathe in my little keychain, and so I can just get a tiny bit and put it behind my ears, because you have to be very respectful and sensitive when you're on a plane. You don't want to be opening up your oils and doing a whole lot, because unless you're on a plane with a bunch of doTERRA people, which normally when we're at the convention, the whole plane smells really good.
All the flight attendants love it.
Past tense is a really strong scent.
It is.
And I am not real fond of it, so I assume there are other people who are not. And I try to keep it to using it mostly at home. But with past tense, I find, how you're reaching, I'm showing you even though my camera's off. You get that tension in your neck and upper shoulder, across your shoulders. And so I always put the past tense where I feel the tension, because it goes away almost immediately. But and then when I massage it in, I'll feel where the specific knot is, and I'll put it over the knot and I'll massage it in very firmly. And that knot will go away for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's, when you look at the emotions in past tense, it's really about letting go. And a lot of times when we're holding on to something, we mean, whether we've recognized what that emotion is that we're holding on to, or that thought or that belief, that is what causes those really, tight muscles. And again, it could also just, could be ergodynamics on top of that. But there's usually some thought that goes with that, causing it. And there's been several times that, I'll put past tense on and all of a sudden my shoulders just come down and I realized, what I was ruminating over that I had no control over, which again, past tense has cilantro in it. Cilantro is all about, letting go of control. So that's the other reason I love past tense, is just because of all the emotions that those oils have. So we've talked a lot about breathe. Yeah.
During the last 3 weeks, I think I've gone through a whole bottle plus a half a stick of breathe.
Yeah, and just know that we hold grief in our lungs. So when we are grieving, that's where grieving, it's held in our lungs. So having console is really good emotionally, but having breathe is also going to help get the grief, out of our lungs. Okay, and then internal, I love this. This is the best way that we can balance all those chemical reactions that are happening in our body. And so I love taking the oils internally. And doTERRA puts a lot of oils in gel caps, which make it really easy. If you like the taste of the oil, you can put it right under your tongue, or you can put it in water or coffee or tea or smoothies. And then, of course, we do a whole cooking class, which we do have coming up this month. So definitely look for that. It's be on a Wednesday night, I think it is.
I think it's afternoon.
Oh, that's right. I think we did an afternoon.
It's 1:30 on the 23rd.
Yeah, so September 23rd at 1:30. We're going to
Pacific time.
It's true. Anyone can be watching us. We'll be doing a cooking class and talking more about how we can use these oils internally. The other nice thing about taking them internally is that you're not losing any of the oils to evaporation. So when we put them on our skin, some's going to evaporate off. If we use a carrier oil, less is going to evaporate off. But when we take them internally, we get 100%. So that's something that really is wonderful. And again, it really depends on your taste. So some you will like, some you won't, and that is okay. So just stay with the ones that you like. And again, we only want to be taking internally the oils that actually say essential oil supplement on the bottle. So not all doTERRA oils can be taken internally, or they're not, I should say, they're not supportive or helpful to be taken internally. So we want to make sure that everyone's looking at the bottle and that the bottle says essential oil supplement, and those are the ones that can be taken internally.
And I always put oils in my water. So today I have green mandarin and clementine.
I had celery seed, lemon, and lime. Yes, with a little real salt in there also.
A little salt, yeah.
Yes. Okay. We've been going through a lot of On Guard. This is one I will never run out of. Make sure I always have extra bottles of it. But the other thing that's great about On Guard is the emotion behind On Guard, and that is feeling protected. So if you are, feeling vulnerable or just feeling not safe, the On Guard is a great one to apply to your solar plexus with some fractionated coconut oil, because it does have cinnamon and clove, so that could be a little warm on the skin. But again, it's a wonderful oil to take internally to use all the suite of On Guard products. I love the throat drops and all the mouthwash and the toothpaste and the laundry detergent.
Cleaner, concentrate.
Yes, all of that. So now let's talk about supporting our three brains with some supplements. So what I love about doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack, and again, I've been studying vitamins since my 20s, so that's 30 years now since I was a competitive bodybuilder. And what I really am blown away by these is that they are a food-based supplement. So, our vitamins and minerals, come from a food source, and they have greens, all kinds of lovely, really good greens in the supplement, along with some digestive enzymes and essential oils. Yeah. So they put essential oils that really help act as a tummy tamer. So if supplements have upset your tummy in the past, you always want to take them with food and make sure that you also have those healthy fats, because our fat soluble vitamins will not be absorbed if you're not ingesting them with some healthy fat. So whether you're having some avocado oil or avocado or nuts or seeds, sesame seed oil, I stay away from vegetable oils and try and look for something that's a lot more healthier. And then, so those are the vitamins and minerals, and then the alpha CRS is our cellular complex. And I really look at this as a fire hose to inflammation. This is an incredible complex, and if you were to buy the alpha CRS just by itself, it's pretty much 90% of the whole package. So doTERRA gives it to us at a discount. And but recently I had someone who just wanted the alpha CRS, and yeah, I think it's like 65. Yeah, where the whole thing is $79.50. So it's an amazing supplement. So, and then the omegas also have essential oils. So that's what the O is for, essential oils. And then there are omega-9 and 3s to balance out
the 6s,
the omega-6 that we get in our diet.
But the 6s are the ones that actually cause inflammation. The 3s and 9s actually decrease inflammation.
Yeah. And if they're balanced, then we don't have any inflammation. But when we have so many 6s and we have low 3s and 9s, then we have that inflammation. But when they're all balanced, we don't have the inflammation. So it's just, I kind of think of them as three siblings. They need to all hang out together. When two are gone, one is on a rampage. So that would be my little brother. So when we were all three together, we were all good. Okay, and then cleaning the gut. Again, we talked about the gut because the gut is where we make our serotonin,
our happy hormones.
Yeah, our happy hormones, and also it's where our immune system. So 90% of our immune system comes from our guts. We want our gut to be happy. And the PB Assist is our probiotics and prebiotics. I recommend taking one a day because the good bacteria in our gut, it doesn't live forever. So we need to, keep, giving it. And there's other bacteria besides the ones that are in here. But again, this also has food for all of the different bacteria that's in our gut. And then the GX Assist is something to do about every 3 to 4 months, where you take one twice a day for 10 days. And you can use it either part of the 30-day cleanse, or you can just do a 10-day GX Assist where you're taking, one in the morning, one in the evening. And I love the science around this one because it doesn't actually open until it gets to your large intestine. And once it gets in your large intestine, then all of these essential oils go in and help, clear out any, food that has stuck to the walls. It helps the lining of your intestine, as well as you have 5 different sphincters in your large intestine, and it really helps support them. then do you want to talk about the Terrazyme?
Terrazyme. I was lost when we couldn't get it for a while. I was like, oh. Terrazyme is digestive enzymes, and it's an amazing product. I generally take one with every meal, and usually one at night. And sometimes when I'm doing a cleanse, I'll take it first thing in the morning. When I take it at night, it basically goes in to my body and does any repair it needs to do. In the morning, first thing, it just helps support my body.
Yeah. And then lemon and xendocrine are great detox oils. And so we can always talk a little bit more about those, especially when we do our cleanse thing. So what do we want to plant? Really, we want just that moment by moment. I love that, just to be supported all day long. And so we're going to go through some of the oils now that can do that. So there's the emotion, aromatherapy, what do they call it? It's on the next slide, but there's this whole collection of oils that are so wonderful, and it's easy to know which one to use because you can look at the names and just go, I want that. I want to be motivated. I want peace. I want to be consoled and comforted. And so whether you get them as the individual bottles, like here at the 5 ml, and you can put them in the diffuser, you can add them to any carrier oil or lotion, or they also come in the touch. And so it's really nice to I love having the whole collection of them, or you can get them individually. But I just wanted to show both kits because this is a great gift. If you ever want to give someone a gift of oils, these are wonderful. And now the emotion, the little 5 mils come in this cute little box, so they're really easy to take with you when you travel, if we ever get to travel again. I know. And then Lachael found this beautiful picture that just had some different oils and really, looking at what emotion do they help bring out. So I love spearmint. I love putting it on my throat chakra before I'm speaking, especially when I'm speaking on stage. And citrus bloom, I'm still enjoying the whole citrus bloom collection that came out a couple months ago. And again, the oil only comes out usually during BOGOs. So citrus bloom isn't one that we can just order any day. So, and this one, it has some citrus oils in it, and then it also has magnolia.
Florals.
Yeah, and so magnolia, if you think of magnolia, it's really like opening up to all possibilities. So citrus bloom is one that just really helps me be my best self. And if that's scary for you, there's lavender and rum and chamomile in it also, to just, you can be there and be calm at the same time. So it's a wonderful blend. And then we love lavender. Oh, yeah. It's always a good one. And it's interesting because I just love beautiful, but I never thought of the self-respect. Yeah, just really taking care of yourself. Eucalyptus, definitely, I always think of wellness. I actually keep eucalyptus in my shower. And I start my shower and I put a couple drops along the edges of the shower for me to breathe in while I'm taking my shower, and just reminding me that I am well, and that, my body wants to be, healthy.
Where do you put the eucalyptus?
So I have shelves in my shower.
Yeah.
So I just put, I'll put like one up on the top shelf, and then I have some on the side, and just, put them there. I don't tend to put it in the bottom part of the shower because I don't want it to just go down the drain. Yeah.
Okay, so you put a drop on the shelves higher up, or you're gonna. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then I have shelves on the side that don't get a lot of water on them, but the oils still, come up.
It's like a spa.
It's like a spa.
Yeah.
It is. But it, and it's just so quick to just like do some drops, and then I'll be showering and just breathing in that eucalyptus, and love the smell of it. So any of those you want to talk about?
Well, we talked about lemon, and that's really good for focus, but it's also uplifting, it's cleansing. Balance is wonderful. It's very grounding. With all this stuff going on, it's really nice to just take some balance and smell, but also
It's like, I just want to
yeah, I know.
smell some.
But you can put it on the bottom of your feet as well. This is one that you don't want to put in the diffuser because it does have some fractionated coconut oil in it.
Oh.
And and then pink pepper. I love pink pepper. I can put a drop or two in my water, and I'm just like, oh.
Yes.
But it's good for intrinsic equality.
Yeah. So it just really reminds you not to keep up with the Joneses. There's no reason to do that, and to just to be very content with who you are, and so plus the other great therapeutic thing about pink pepper is it also helps your immune system. So very good immune supporting one, so you can feel good about yourself and have that great immune system. This is an app I use all the time besides having the book. So I have the Essential Emotions book. Version 8 is the latest one that has all of the emotions, the oils, and it also tells you about what's going on in your body. So again, when you have some body aches, so we were talking earlier about looking up what is it that's hurting, and so just really looking at what's been. I know I was just looking like my butt's been hurting. And it's like lower back, but it so it says power to act, and so am I feeling purposeless, unteachable, or distrusting and frightful? And no, not really. But I am very frustrated because I haven't had as much time to write and work on my book, and so I think that frustration is coming out with pain in my butt.
It is a pain in your butt.
It is a pain, yes. I'm sitting at my desk for long periods of time. But is there anything someone wants me to look up? Well, this one's an interesting one. Calluses. Yep, we got some of those on my feet. Overly.
How about the lower back?
So lower back, I think, is financial support. So not feeling, let's see what it says. So the back's all about flow. So lower back, being accepted and valued by others, having enough in regards to finances, or, and so if you have any of these emotions of either being judgmental, confused, constricted, or having any limiting beliefs. So what I like about this book is it has how we can look deeper. So the look deeper for that, and this is definitely for me too, and it's interesting that mine is on the right side. So the right is about the future, and it could also be about masculine, so some male form in your life. The right side is feminine, so it could either be you or another female in your life, and it's also about the past. So again, looking at, and I know I've been thinking a lot about my finances in the future. I've been a little obsessed about looking at that. So it says, do I have worries about money or the lack of finances or other temporal support? And so it's like, well, I know I'm always thinking about money. And the other question is, do I believe resources will not show up when they are needed? Yes, that would. My patience sometimes is not the best. So that's for low back, and then or that was for lower back, and then I don't know what's the difference between low and lower, but
Low would be, I don't know.
yeah, so that's lower. I think mine's more lower because it's right at my lower back and butt area. Low back is financial support or having needed resources. And so just, again, looking, where do I believe resources will show up when they are needed? And then just the back of the body, it tends to be looking at past experiences where there may be private or hidden parts of the self not available for public view. I know. I try and put myself out there, but there's times I don't want to get on social media. So yeah, that's been the other thing I've been going, I need to get myself more consistent with social media. I want to. Thank you. I want to. Okay.
So do I.
Yes.
You want to what?
So I'm trying to get where I am getting rid of the word need and I'm replacing it with want. And so I want to have a consistency with being on social media, on my business page on Facebook. And I recently attended the doTERRA social media, webinar that they have. So doTERRA really has set up to make being on social media a lot easier, with being able to schedule and having all the photos and everything like that all ready for you. So that's that's my fun thing I'm looking into this weekend. But my goal is to sit down on the weekend, which is when I have time, and schedule my social media things that will just appear. I don't have to go in and do it every day, which I love to just schedule things. So they'll just be out there. And again, being able to educate people. That's really my whole goal, is to not only educate with essential oils, but educate on making sense of your body after 40 and other health stuff. So, but I did look up calluses, and this was interesting because it says overly responsible for loved ones. So yes, my name is Lorri, and I have been a codependent in my past. So I don't have near as many calluses as I used to, but they still come up. So, but yeah, there's times where I take on way more responsibility than is healthy. So I really love this app because it helps me get in touch with how can I look at the emotions behind what's happening with my body. And I may not always like what it says, but it usually helps guide me to what is needed. And so if you can find the emotion, so it has different emotions, and the app is great because when you look up your body, so when you tap, hit that body tab, it'll have the emotions, and if you find one that you're resonating with, you can tap that emotion, and then it will go to the oil or the oils that address that emotion. And then you can even go a little bit deeper and not only figure out how to use the oil, but some more deeper dive once you get into the emotion. So it has visualizations and affirmations, and it has really helped me with pretty much a lot of my back pain when I use the visualization of being supported and having this visualization of this beautiful river flowing down my spine, just like, and it not being rapids or being a very curvy river, so straight river. Okay, let's go on. So we talked a lot about how to nourish ourselves, and that's pretty much all of our ways that we can take care of ourselves. And then I love this little quote. So we can fill our bucket drop by drop, and you can clear your mind thought by thought, and you can also heal yourself moment by moment. So I want to just go over the September promos if you're not aware of them. We get grapefruit, white grapefruit for free. And this one is another one that we can't buy, so that it just comes out as a freebie. So again, it's a great citrus oil. I actually like to cut up grapefruit and add white grapefruit to it. So just it does. It just makes it even better. But really good for your water and for detoxing. And then Serenity, always I use Serenity every night, so this is a good one to have. And the Brevi diffuser and the stronger, there's still a few left. So if people are looking to get that, there's still some left. Oh, and
90% sold out.
90%, and the Harvest Spice did sell out. So I'm glad I got some of that last month.
That's interesting, because what I saw was that the Brevi, the kids Brevi was sold out. I didn't see 90%. So anyway, I was just looking yesterday.
It may have, because we did this yesterday, so it may have sold out. It may have sold out already. I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it today.
It's interesting. I've never. So it actually said on the website 90%, or you called someone to find that out?
I got this slide from either Karina or Melissa. And
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Those diamonds. They know these things.
So this is one of their slide decks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
that's one slide.
Yeah, it was just a picture from them.
Yeah. From the newsletter or something.
Yeah. So, and then do we have anyone new? I can't see who's on. Because we're sharing, we got rid of everyone, but if we don't have anyone new, we're going to just skip through all of this. Great emotional support for children too. So I have lots of moms that swear by that. And then if you guys do have anyone new coming into the business, if they attend one of our classes that Tula attends, Tula is in Silver Club this month. So we're able to get them into the Silver Club portal, and if they want to sign up, as long as we have them in the Silver Club portal, and I have Tula's code for Silver Club. So when you put them in, you always see that promo code. Well, that's what that promo code's for. We can put it in, and they can get a free breathe this month. So I definitely want to help support Tula in Silver Club, and then also to be able to offer this to anyone that is signing up. So I have just, it's pretty much with any 100 PV order. So even if people got, the simplified kit, which is 70 PV, and they add 30 PV to it, they would get the breathe. Yeah. So we just want to remember that with nature, we can lift the mind, renew the body, and heal the heart. And then wanted to leave you with one of my favorites.
Happy trails.
Yes. I know.
Yes.
I know. I actually miss riding on that trail, but it was just always such a fun time, and he loved it. So I'm going to stop sharing. So if you want to, and I'm going to turn our recording off. So wanted to say goodbye to everyone who's watching the recording, and make sure you get back to anyone who sent you.